What's up, everyone? All right, so finishing the day here in the red, but not by much. Today's one of those days where I only actually took one trade. I took one trade in my main account, one trade in my IRA. I got a partial fill in the IRA, which was so disappointing. I got in the stock, which I'll talk about in the midday recap, at $3.95, or no, sorry, it was $3. I got filled at like $2.75. I tried to get 6,000 shares and I only filled 700. It ended up hitting a high of $3.95. That would have been a $6,000 winner, but I missed it. So ended up only being like a $300 winner. And then I got in the trade in my main account a few minutes later and took a small loss there. So, you know, it is what it is. This has been an incredible hot streak, $84,000 in the last 2 weeks basically of trading. So I can afford to, you know, be in the red today and sit tight, sit on my hands, no pressure, not going to be aggressive. I'll just be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, and hopefully we see good momentum and I can finish the week with 2 more green days. All right, so we're going to break it all down in today's midday market recap. So we're gonna break down the trades from this morning, and yeah, so today is the first red day for me in, I had 13 green days in a row and $84,000 of profit. Today's a red day, I'm down $1,549, and all things considered, that is not bad at all. So one of the things that's really important for your long-term survival as a trader is to be able to know when to be aggressive, when to put the pedal to the metal, and when to slow down and ease up a little bit. So today's a day where I actually had, I really didn't have a lot on my watch list. I had very few stocks I was watching closely pre-market. We had, let's see, it was, I'm now trying to remember because we didn't take those trades. Let me pull up my gap scanner here. All right, there we go. DCAR was on the watch list pre-market, but by the time the bell rang, it ended up fading, so it didn't hold up very well at all. MDGS was on the scanners, but that didn't hold up either. It sold off, and so neither of these ended up working out. So I'm sitting here 9:30, 9:33, waiting for the first stock to hit the scanners, and someone in the room mentions IZEA. So I pull up IZEA and I look at it and I think, okay, I like it because you can see here it was doing a 1 minute micro pullback. So it's doing a 1 minute micro pullback right here under $3. And even though it had a little bit of resistance up here at 376, the 200 moving average, I thought that it had a good amount of room at, you know, for getting it at $3 and selling at 376 would be a great winner. So I wasn't too worried about that. All right, so I go here into Interactive Brokers and I press the order to buy. Let's see, this was at 9:33 and 56 seconds. I press the order to buy 6,000 shares. As you can see, I filled only 700. So I got a partial fill, only 700 shares filled. And what's crazy, it's crazy, is that my orders, I put the order at $3. Actually, I had it at 303. And I got filled 700 shares at 279 and 280. And I was like, I'll fill the full 6,000. So I pressed the button and I'm sitting there and I'm watching. And nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. And I'm like, this is crazy. 6,000 shares, come on. And next thing you know, boom, volume comes in and it's at $3.50. I don't know what happened. I mean, I know what happened. I mean, I didn't get filled on my order. The routing is slow and this keeps happening. It happens every single time I try to trade with Interactive Brokers, and it sucks. It's really, really frustrating. I'm trying to trade in my IRA account here. As soon as I get it above 25,000, I'll move it over to Lightspeed. You know, but right now it's just so frustrating. And you guys know, yesterday I took a I don't know, it's like a $1,800 loss in this account, and you know, it's like every time I miss a winner like this, it just hurts more and more. Because if I'd gotten filled 6,000 shares, let's say I filled all the way up at $3, right? Fill at $3, that'd be fine. Well, it squeezes up to a high of 350 and then up to 374 and was halted. It resumes and taps 398. All right, it taps 398 and I'm like, I'm holding 300 or 700 shares, whatever, it's no big deal. I'm gonna just hold it. Maybe we'll go into a second halt. And so in my main account, I jump in with 2,500 shares at 96. I literally like at high a day. I thought it was going to break over $4. So I jump in with 2,500 shares. It ends up dropping down to 330. And I stopped out at 315 and 303. And I accidentally shorted 1,000 shares and then filled it at 288. So it was just like super sloppy. And so I lost $1,800 in my main account on that trade, which again, this is a $100,000 account, $1,800. It's not a big deal. It really doesn't matter. But what's really disappointing is that I could have easily been selling 6,000 shares at, 380 for a $6,000 winner. And a $6,000 winner, that would have put me up close to $25,000. So it's just so disappointing. It's so frustrating. It's actually, and I'm just getting frustrated because this isn't the first time it's happened. This is like what's today? The 67th day of the year. So it's probably like the 50th time it's happened. Every time I try to take a trade, this is what happens. And sometimes I get filled, but the fills are very, very slow. I am direct routing. I'm not using smart. I'm using bats. I direct route my orders. And on this one, I just, I didn't get filled. So that cost me $6,000. And I've probably lost $30,000, $40,000 in missed opportunities this year. This happened on here. Remember last week, HEAR only got a partial fill. Let me see, how many shares did I get on that? I'm trying to remember. In my main account, I think I made $12,000, and in my IRA, I only got a partial fill, and so I only made a couple $100. But whatever. $310 total profit. Sold it on the way back down at 324, and it is what it is. So that's a bummer there. It's disappointing, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I'm a little bit frustrated, so I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to slow down a little bit. I can sense myself getting irritated. FOMO. I missed a good opportunity. No fault of my own. I missed a good opportunity because my broker didn't fill my shares. So that's just the luck of the draw, or the choice of my broker. And again, the only reason I use this broker is because they offer settlement margin. That means that I don't have to wait 2 days for these trades to settle. I can go and trade another trade right now with all this money. I don't have to wait for settlement. So that's what's awesome. I could trade 3 times in a day if I wanted to. But the downside is that the executions are very, very slow. To the point where it almost makes my strategy untradeable with this broker, which is very disappointing. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling agitated. I'm feeling upset. I missed a great opportunity, and then I got in high in my main account, lost $1,800. So this is just getting really frustrating. I saw VT popping up and hitting the scans, and on this one, I just sort of was like, you know what? I'm not sure about it because it's looking like it's going to be a little bit of a tug of war. You can see VT now has 20 million shares of volume. And so what I've sort of found with these is that when they start to get crowded, they start to get really high volume, you start to see more false breakouts. And so things like 1 minute micro pullbacks, like what you have right here, they don't work as well. It pops up and fades, pops up and fades. And oftentimes when stocks have this level of volume, it's almost like, as soon as they pop up, there's some big seller trying to short it. As soon as it drops down, there's some big buyer wanting to get in. And it just creates this grinding action where you don't usually get 15, 20, 30 cent moves in one breakout. You get like a 5 to 8 cent breakout, maybe a 10 to 15 cent breakout if you're lucky. So as I watched it here, yes, I saw this was the first candle to make a new high over, at that point it was 84, but on the level 2, there was a 50,000 share seller at 93. And so I saw that seller there at 193, and I thought, it's probably going to be an issue. It's probably going to not be able to break over that level. So it hits 93 and it pulls back. It comes back up again, and I'm like, oh, there it is. There's that seller. He's getting bought up. So it goes from 50, 40, 30, 20, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It pops up, and there's another 50,000 share seller at 95. So it's like, you think you're getting headway, and then it pulls right back. So it dropped back down here. It then kind of consolidates and curls up right here. Let's see. Again, gives it a second try. But at this point, I was just like, you know what? The time here is 10:08. Usually, if I've had really good trades, by 10 a.m., I'm already at my daily goal. I'm in really good shape. So the fact that it's 10:08 and I'm down $1,500, that's a red flag, or that's a caution flag. And the caution flag means be really careful about what you're willing to trade, because it's much better to be down $1,800 on the day than to be down 4,000 or 5,000. And it doesn't take much for the day to spiral out of control. Remember when we talk about how day trading is risky only when you choose not to manage your risk. You can reduce the risk of trading just by managing your risk on every trade. And so that's what I sort of decided to do. I said, you know what? I'm going to sit tight here. I don't know if this is really going to work. It breaks up and hits 205 and then drops back down to 195. So, you know, it's kind of pinballing. It pops up, pulls back, pops up, pulls back. And then it pops up to 209 and then it drops back down to 96. And then right here, it starts to open up. And so this was the spot over 209 where, yeah, in hindsight, maybe I could have taken the trade, but at that point it was coming up on 10:20, the end of the first hour. I was not in the driver's seat I had no profit cushion today. So if I didn't make money on that trade, I would have been just going deeper into the red. And by that point, the stock had more than 10 million shares of volume. And typically when we have more than 10 million shares of volume, I don't trade very well because we get into the tug of war. So I didn't really think that it would make this type of move here. But it squeezes up to 37, it pulls back. It does do a 1 minute micro pullback at 36, pops up to 54, drops back down, you know, a little bit of churn here. And so yes, in hindsight, there was an opportunity there, but I feel like because I didn't have a profit cushion on the day, I couldn't afford to take the risk to take that trade because it wasn't really my go-to setup. It wasn't for me what I would consider to be an A quality setup. And so that's what's really important, to know when to put the pedal to the metal and be aggressive and when to be a little bit more conservative and say, you know what, I'm a little off today. I'm a little agitated. I'm a little in the red. This might be a better day just to step back and slow down and not try to be as aggressive. And look, I can always come back tomorrow. And if we see good opportunities, a good gap scan, I can go right back to 5, 10, 15,000 share positions. But in total today, I only traded 2,500 shares in this account right here, 2,500, and I only traded 700 in my IRA. So it was like, today was almost like a non-event. You know, when you're averaging $7,000 a day, losing 1,500 is nothing. And I know like these are big numbers, but just think of it relative to whatever you're doing. If you're averaging $700 a day, then this is a day where you lost 150. And so that's why I don't care. I'm not annoyed. I mean, I'm annoyed at what happened there with the fills, but I'm not annoyed at myself. I didn't break rules. I didn't get aggressive and try to take 20,000 shares out of the halt and then lose $15,000. I just, you know, took a trade out of the halt, small size. I lost on it, no big deal. And I didn't get filled here in this order. So, you know, definitely a lesson for you guys. Anyone who's trying to trade really aggressively, if you're trying to trade fast, you have to have the right tools because there's just no way. You know, it's like anything else. It's like trying to build a house with a screwdriver instead of a drill, a power drill. You know, or trying to, I don't know, go skiing without a good pair of skis. I mean, it's just, if you don't have the right tools for the task, you're not going to do well. Trying to go downhill skiing with cross-country skis, it doesn't work well. Trying to ski on really, you know, in the terrain park with telemarket skis is not going to work well, right? You have to have the right tools for the application, and this is not the right broker for the strategy that I'm trading. And I'd heard a lot of people say that over the years, that the fills were slow with interactive brokers and stuff like that, and I see it firsthand, and you guys can watch all the recordings of my trading in the Warrior Pro classes, and you see how I press the button and it just stays there. Nothing happens, nothing happens, nothing happens, you know, and then finally it fills or whatever. It's just, it's really disappointing. So anyways, you know, it's, for me, I'm trying to, I guess, build half of the house with the screwdriver until, that new power drill comes out on the market, and that's going to be Lightspeed offering settlement margin on IRA accounts. And they said they're going to bring it to their brokerage soon. So maybe it's 3 months away, maybe it's 4 months away. And in the meantime, I'm just going to have to deal with trying to build this house with a screwdriver and getting frustrated from time to time and trying to make the best out of a difficult situation. Now, if you trade a different strategy, if you swing trade, maybe you trade Mike's strategy, this might be fine for you. It may not be an issue. But for me, seconds matter. So I need very, very fast execution. I mean, milliseconds matter. And so for me, when I don't have that, it's a problem. And unfortunately, today, I was focused on trying to get filled in the IRA because, I'm trying to build the account up. And so I didn't take the trade in my main account before the halt. And then, so I ended up basically missing it on both sides. But it is what it is. I'm not going to, there's no reason for a pity party for me. I'm still up $73,000 this month, $84,000 since my last red day before today. So, life is good. It's no big deal. This is just, one of the things that's part of trading, and you all probably deal with it at one point or another. So, I just, I'm throwing that out there as what I'm going through today, the experience of, my morning. All right. So anyway, 67th day of the year, down $1,500, but I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, and hopefully we'll be able to finish this week in the green. All right. So that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning.
If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.